Hey everybody, this is Mike Lacasio. Welcome to my live chat. Welcome to my live stream. I'm going to talk about a number of things today. Hello there, Mrs. Naturally. How you doing tonight? Good to see you. Pretty good, thanks. I'm going to talk about a lot of computer tips and free programs that you can get, and that will help you out a lot. So I hope a lot of people come to my stream tonight, because I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff that's going to help everybody. One program that is really good to have for your computer is called Belarc.com. That's spelled BELARC.com. And if you want to write them down, that's fine. But what this program does is you install it. It's a little program, and it's a really neat program. It's free also. Every program I'm going to talk about is free, by the way. And what it does is it tells you all the software and all the hardware that's on your computer. So it gives you a really, if you want to know like what's on your computer, it tells you everything. So you'll know everything about what's on your computer, from the hardware to the software. So all you got to do is go type in Belarc.com and download it. It's a great free program. Another program that's really good that I use is called PriceWatch.com. And hello, Julian. I'm doing good. Yeah, definitely give thumbs up. I need some thumbs up, everybody. The second program is called PriceWatch.com. And what they do is they compare all prices on the web. I'm doing okay. All right, I appreciate it. Another thumbs up. I'm talking about free programs that you can get on the internet that will help you. And I'm going to go down a list of them. So what was I saying? PriceWatch.com. Yeah, if you want to buy any computer part, any computer or anything that's related to a computer, they have the best prices. Okay, yeah. I'm glad you stopped in. And, that's another great website called PriceWatch.com. So check it out. And another good website where you could download, a safe place to download free programs, is called Download.com. Just spell Download.com. And you can go to the software listing for software, put that in there. You'll see different options on there. One will be software, and you can download. Hi, Sonic plays with the Ink Monsters. Welcome to the live chat. Yeah, so that's a really good program. If you want free programs and free software, you go to download.com, and Belarc.com is really good to check and see what's on your computer. Okay. Good night there, Julian. Thanks for stopping by. So that's another good program. I'm stuffing my face over here. And I have an even better program for programs. Instead of you know how you download a program and you got to do like one at a time. It takes a while. Well, if you like reinstall the operating system, like put Windows back on, instead of putting one program on at a time, you could download a lot of programs at a time. If you go to a site called Ninite, it's spelled NINITE.com. All right, my first time here. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you come back. Glad to have you. I've heard so no emojis. Yeah, maybe so. I guess. Yeah, they're getting really strict on stuff. Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, Ninite is a great site, and I also have a website which is nice, and anybody can visit my website, and I stress that you come by and check out my website. It's called it's at www.mslcomputerservice.com, and I built it on WordPress. And WordPress is a really good user-friendly place to build websites. So if you want to check out my website, and by the way, there's a picture of a guy on there, and that guy is not me. But just so you know. Well, you'd know anyway because I don't look like that guy. I just used that picture because I thought it was kind of cool. And I'm not explaining what would happen. I don't know what that means, but yeah, so then next one up is called CCleaner, which is a very good program. I talk about it a lot in my videos. It's just spelled CCleaner. C like the third letter of the alphabet, cleaner, and it cleans a lot of junk off your computer, and it's also free. So get that. If you like to play games online, and I like to play poker, Texas Hold'em, that's my favorite game to play. You can go to pogo.com and you can play games for free. That's just spelled pogo.com. If you're not familiar with it, or if you are familiar with it, then you know that's a good place to play games. They have all kinds of games, board games, and just all kinds of different kinds of games. And if you want somebody to make work for you and do like graphics or just any kind of computer related job, like just anything, you have to go to Fiverr. Fiverr is a pretty cool site. They even have people on there that'll make you nice thumbnails or intros or outros or all kinds of different things. And that's spelled Fiberr. So you just go to Fiverr and check that out. I also like TeamViewer, and I use that when I fix people's computers. If you go to teamviewer.com and download the software, you could have somebody else download it. In other words, what I do is I have TeamViewer on my computer, right? So what I do is if I'm going to fix your computer, let's say, I tell you, download TeamViewer and give me the password and the ID. After you do that, I can connect to your computer by putting your password and ID in my computer, my TeamViewer, and then I can move your mouse on your desktop and I can repair your computer that way. It's a neat program that allows you to do that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Or you can just watch show your mother my playlist and she can watch that. Yep. I'm not the greatest typer and, figuring out what words, how to spell words, but if you go to Grammarly.com, sure, you're welcome. You're very welcome. If you go to Grammarly.com, you can get a Chrome extension just by getting Grammarly, and it will fix. Yeah, anytime you spell a word wrong, it will correct it for you. It will show you the proper spelling, and you just click on that. I'm going to say in a slow way how to pronounce my name. Okay. So that's a really good program, Grammarly. Sonic plays with the ink monster. That's what I thought. That's a cool name. Sonic plays with the ink monsters. And then, so you got all these programs, Also, if you want to sell things, you have things around the house you want to sell, or you have a business that you want to advertise, or you want to buy things, you can go over to Craigslist.com. Craigslist is a good place. Yeah, Sonic, I think your name is cool too. Go to Craigslist, CRAIGS list, all one word.com, and then you just put in the area where you live in, and you could see a lot of things that people are selling. There's a service area on there where you could list, a business that you have, and you can get customers like that. I think it's only like $5 a listing, so it's really not a lot. But you can list your business, and I've done that a lot, and I've gotten a lot of computer jobs that way. And plus, I'm on Google. If you just go to Google and type in MSL Computer Service, I might come up because I'm also on Google. When I do local computer work around here, people find me on Google. Google My Business, and it's also a free listing. And you can list your business on there too, if you have a business. So that's very good. And those programs are really good. Also, Malwarebytes is a free program. It gets rid of a lot of junk on your computer. You just run it, and it'll search for your whole computer, and it will show you what it finds. And at the end of it, just click the bottom. 12 Freddy's coming for you, a.k.a. Oh, Freddy Krueger. Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So Malwarebytes, look into that. There's a trial version and a free version. Make sure you get the right one for the operating system. If you're on Windows 7, make sure you download Malwarebytes for Windows 7. If you're on 10, get the Malwarebytes for Windows 10. That cleans up all kinds of stuff, and then at the end, it'll scan your whole computer, look for problems, and then at the end, it will tell you, to highlight everything and then click remove. And then you might have to restart it after it does all the removing. Depends on how much stuff that it finds. But you can see it as the scan's going. It's telling you how much stuff it finds. Hi, ASAP Fishing. Good to see you. Hello, how you doing tonight? So I believe that's it for the programs. Oh, also Skype. If you're familiar with Skype, that's a program that you can talk on. Talk to people. Let's say you have family in another state, and you want to get on Skype, and you want to talk to them. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So you get on Skype, you download Skype, and you tell your families who live somewhere else to download Skype. You make a username, they make a username and a password, and they can see you on camera, or you can see them on camera, and you can type back and forth. And that's called Skype, which is SKYPE. You just go to skype.com. It's totally free. All these programs are basically free, except for Fiverr and Craigslist if you're going to post an ad. If you're going to post an ad for somebody that can work for you. But TinyURL is an excellent program. If you have a long URL and you want to make it shorter because, it looks kind of gawky, a real long URL, you just go to the site called TinyURL and put that URL, scroll down to the bottom and put that URL in that box and then click OK, and TinyURL will make that a smaller URL. It'll say TinyURL and then some other stuff after it, and it'll be small enough that you can post it. That's great, Sonic. You want to watch the whole stream? I hope you do. You'll get a lot out of it if you do. So, just remember TinyURL. TinyURL is really good. I just have some notes here, and I'm putting this up here. And get into a little bit of computer cleaning. If you want to clean your computer, whether it's a laptop or a desktop, I have a whole series of tips on how to clean your computer. You can also watch my videos. I have about 100 and something videos so far on how to clean your computer, make it run faster, make it safer online. And I have some good playlists for you to check out. They're all about computer tips. Now, what you want to do is if you're on Windows 10, you want to right click on your start button down there on the left-hand side, the bottom left-hand side, and you want to click on run. And in the run box, you want to type in temp, T-E-M-P, and you do this in small letters. Then you hit OK. Then it will take you to where your temp folders are. On the right-hand side, you'll see a whole bunch of different things in your temp folder. But you want to clean all that out. So you highlight one of them and you hold the Control and the A key at the same time, and you hit delete on your keyboard. You might, if you have a real lot of them, you might have to do it several times. My grandmother's old computer had the blue screen. It shuts down. It's no good. Well, one thing you can do if you have a blue screen is you could take out the memory and put it back in. That may help. Sometimes it's an issue with the memory. That's the first thing that I usually do when somebody brings me a computer with a blue screen. It's getting blue screen of death, they call it. It's usually, it could be hardware or software. It's really a conflict. So try that for her and see if that works. So you get rid of all your temps, then you close that out, close that window out, and then you go back to your Windows icon, start menu in the bottom left-hand corner. You right-click it, and you go back to run. And this time you're going to type something different, or backspace on what's there. Type in the percentage sign, temp again, and the percentage sign. Now hit OK, and after you do that, it's going to take you to another folder, and you'll see all the junk that's been accumulated for the internet, temporary stuff that you can get rid of, and it's safe to get rid of it. So then you highlight it in one again, and you hold the Control A key, and then you hit delete on your keyboard. Make sure you do that until they're all done, until they're all gone. Then you go back to the run box the same way you did it the last two times, and you type in prefetch, prefetch, and then you hit OK, and then your prefetch folder will be there, and then you do the exact same thing in that. Now, sometimes when you type in the box and hit OK, you might get a message that says, do you want to access this folder? And you'll have to hit OK to continue to get to those folders. So make sure you do that after you click OK. If you get that option, that little message that comes up, it asks you, do you want to continue? You just hit OK on it. And then you cleaned out, all your stuff, all your temporary stuff. You could also try recent. You want to type in recent. You might have a recent folder. You could do that in the run box and type in recent and hit OK. And if there's anything in the recent folder, do Control A and then hit delete, and then you're done with that. I always stress people, I don't care if you use your computer for fun, if you use your computer for business or whatever you use it for, make sure you back up your important data. That's very important. If you have any files on there that you cannot lose, pictures, videos that you want to keep, you get an external hard drive and you plug it in the USB and you move everything that's important on your computer onto that drive. And you do that regularly if you're a business to save your important stuff so you don't lose it. You can keep a copy of it on your computer, that's all fine. But you want to make sure that if it's important and you can't afford to lose it, then you save it on your hard drive, external one. Now, I do work for a lot of regular home users and companies, small to middle-sized companies, and this is very important. You need to back up your information that's important, and you need to, if you're a company, you need to back up your important information also. There could be a time when your hard drive fails or goes bad, and you won't be able to get to your data. You won't be able to do it, so you have to do it now. Make sure you back up all your important information. That's as important as having an antivirus, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. If you don't have an antivirus, go get an antivirus. Go to avast.com, avast.com. Type in Avast for Windows 10 or Avast for Windows 7, whichever operating system you're using. Download it and run that. It's a good antivirus and it will work great. But also, if you have a trial version on there, make sure you go into your C drive and go into your programs where it says uninstall programs in the control panel and highlight that trial and then go to the top and hit uninstall. So you want to get rid of that trial if you're not using it anymore. Avast is free. You get all the free updates instead of paying for Norton or McAfee, which, in my opinion, I think Avast is better because I've ran tests to see if Norton or McAfee would catch a file that had a virus, and both of them failed to find that file. And what happens is, then I run a test with Avast, and Avast found the virus and uninstalled it, quarantined it. So, just because you're paying for antivirus, don't think it's a good protection. The free antiviruses are just as good or better. So just remember that. And you also get to save money too. The next thing I want to talk about is cleaning your browser. Now, if you're using Chrome, go up to the right-hand side, upper right, and there's three dots there. Click those three dots, go down to history, move it over, the mouse to the left of history, click on that, and then you just do Control A and you highlight some of those history entries. It'll put check marks in the boxes. Then you hit delete on your keyboard, and you do that until all the history is gone. Make sure you do that. It's good. And another thing that you should do is go into the control panel. If you're on Windows 10, you go down to search, you type in control panel. Once you get to the control panel, you either go to programs and features or uninstall programs, and you click on that, and then your list will come up of all the programs that are on your computer. And you can go through them one at a time, go down the list, scroll through it, and if there's any programs that you don't need or don't use, highlight them, click on install on the top, and get rid of them. You don't need them. You don't need them on your hard drive. If you see any toolbars in there, get rid of them. Highlight the toolbar and go up to the top and hit uninstall. If there's any kind of add-on programs, if you're not sure what it is, don't remove it, or go to Google and type it in Google to find out what it is. I don't want you to remove something that you're not sure of, and it could be an important driver or something like that. So don't remove something if you're not sure what it is. Thank you, Sonic. My live streams are always very helpful, and I'm glad you're here. So, and another thing that I always talk about is cleaning your fans. If you have a laptop, you have an exhaust fan on the side of it, make sure that's free of dust. If you have a desktop, make sure the fans are clean, because the two enemies of a computer is liquid and heat. Those two things will ruin your computer. So you don't want to get any liquid near your computer, and you don't want your computer running hot. So clean your fans and make sure that, see, a laptop works different than a desktop. A laptop, the fan is inside the computer and it runs as an exhaust fan. It takes the hot air from your processor, your CPU, and it takes the hot air out. It exhausts it. So you want to make sure that that side of the laptop where the fan is open so that heat can go out. Oh, that's good, Sonic. So make sure you do that. And on your desktop, make sure you clean those fans too. There's fans on the back, which are case fans. You want to clean those. Make sure you hold the fan while you're cleaning it. You don't want the fan to spin while you're cleaning it. Most important one to clean is the CPU fan. Hey, crap, I'm doing okay. I'm glad you're here. Just hit the bell and stick around. And the CPU fan, keep your fingers on that fan so it doesn't turn, and get something to get that dust out. If you have to vacuum it, vacuum all the dust out. You want to keep your fans clean, and make sure you hold on to the fin on the fan, while you're cleaning it, so that way they don't spin. And you should do that regularly. Make sure your fans are, especially if you're a smoker or if there's a lot of dust in your house, like you have shag carpets or something like that. You want to make sure your fans are clean and your computer's running cool. And that's very important. Yeah, being well ventilated is really, really a good thing. So if you're new here or if you're just coming on, my name is Mike Lucasio, and I help people maintain their computer and repair their computer. You can do it yourself if you follow my step-by-step. And I talk about computer repair and computer maintenance in the simplest terms. Anybody can follow it. Oh, okay. And you can do it too. If you have any comments or any questions or any titles you want me to make a video on, make sure you leave it in the comments, and I'd appreciate that. If you share my video with somebody, family members or friend, to help them with their computer, that would be a good thing too. So we're back to some computer tips here. So, like I said before, you have your antivirus. If you're on a laptop, you want to go into power options. And in your power area, you want to change it to high performance. Change it to high performance, and that'll be good. Also, make sure you do all your Windows updates. If you're on Windows 7 or Windows 10, you can go down to the search on the bottom and type in updates, or go into the control panel and go to updates and click on update my computer and get all the critical updates. You can get all the updates that are there, and that's what you need to do. You want to keep your operating system updated, because when new viruses come out and new infections, those updates have patches, which are files to help you be protected from those new threats. And anytime somebody reports a problem with Windows 10, Microsoft will come out with an update. So you want to download all the updates so you're protected. Now, don't get me wrong. You need an antivirus, you need a malware remover, you need a spyware remover. There are certain viruses that these things will not protect you, and they're really serious viruses. So it wouldn't matter what kind of protection you had, unless you were behind a firewall and it didn't infect your computer. There are some viruses. Every now and then they come out with something that's really bad, and then you have to usually format your computer or restore your computer to fix that. But generally, in most cases, these programs will help you. And make sure you delete unnecessary files. If you have a lot of files on your computer that you don't need, make sure you delete them. Just like you do go into your programs and you delete all the programs you don't want, you also need to delete files that you don't want on your computer, because all that is on your hard drive. And if you don't need it, get rid of it. If you're saving like 50 videos on your computer, take those videos and put it on external hard drive. It'll speed up your computer some, and you don't need all that stuff on your hard drive. All the videos, they take up a lot of space. Not only that, if you have a regular SATA hard drive, they could bog your computer down if you have too many things on there, and you really want to conserve what's on your hard drive. And I also believe in every once a year backing up your computer and reinstalling the operating system again, putting in Windows again. That's a very good thing to do, and I do that probably once a year myself. That's a good thing to do. So also make sure you do the task manager I spoke about. Right click on the toolbar. Oh, thanks, Sonic. Right click on an empty spot on the toolbar and then left click task manager and then go to your task manager. If you see any programs running that you're not using, make sure you take those off. You're not uninstalling it and you're not deleting it. You're just making sure it doesn't start when the computer starts. You can still use those programs. So don't think you're getting rid of it completely. You're just taking it off the startup menu. And that'll free up some memory for you. Also, I want to tell you about keyloggers and very bad threats like that. A keylogger is a program. It could be hardware, it could be software. And people can put that on your computer and monitor all the keystrokes you do. So they could, basically, get into your computer and get all your personal information. And you don't want that to happen. So make sure you get a program that will, combat that, because they could monitor all your keystrokes, and that's not good. There's a program called Anti-Rootkit. I believe it's free. You can get that, and that will run that, and that will remove keyloggers. Also, Norton has a program called Power Eraser. I'm not sure if it's paid or free, but you can look into that, and that'll protect you from keylogger. It also, if you're not sure how to make a desktop folder, if you want a desktop folder, what you do is you right click on an empty space on your desktop, and then you left click where it says new, and then when the folder option comes up, you click folder, and it will put a yellow desktop folder on your desktop, and then you can backspace on it and you can type in whatever you want, and then click it, and then you'll have a folder, and you can drag and drop things in it. You can drag things in it. You can take things out of it. Whatever you want to do. You can name it anything you want. So just remember, when you turn on your computer, it's looking for all your hardware on there. And that's what's called POST. POST is Power On Self-Test. That's where you see all that writing when you turn your computer on. From the very first time you turn it on, your hardware is being recognized, and it's showing your drives and this and that and the other things. And that's what POST is. Now, BIOS is something different. Your BIOS is your basic input-output service. A BIOS instructs the computer to perform certain tasks. When you go into your setup, that's your BIOS. And what the BIOS is, it's a little chip on your computer that has memory in it, and it's stored in the CMOS on your motherboard. And anytime you're not in the BIOS, that chip is stored in there. And then when you go in the BIOS, that chip is being used. And the things you can do in the BIOS, you could change your boot order. That's one thing. You could make it where you can boot from your CD-ROM. You could boot from a USB device. You make that in first position, and then you save all the changes by clicking F10, and then you leave the BIOS, and then the computer will restart and it will boot into that. The BIOS holds a lot of information, and there's some certain things you just have to be careful with if you go into the BIOS. You can change your time, you can change the date, you can do certain things. You can disable video cards and disable sound cards if you put a new card on your desktop computer. There's plenty of things that you can do. But if you have problems with your computer, you can also go into the BIOS and click F7, and that's restore all defaults. So F7 you click, and then it restores everything. Then you click F10 to restart your computer. And generally, it will fix those problems. I've worked on several gaming systems where I had to go in and the computer wouldn't start. So I restarted the computer, started tapping F1 or F2, and that takes you into the BIOS. And I had to do F7 just to restore everything to the factory settings. And when you do that, it shows the computer, it usually boots back up, and the computer works again. So the BIOS is a very good thing if used properly. But you don't want to just go in there and make different changes. You have to go in there for a reason. So that's a really good thing to, have to be able to have access to. And it helps you, lets you troubleshoot problems and things like that. Now, what else do we have here that I want to go over? Oh, another thing is, if you have a new computer, usually you get a trial version of Microsoft Office. Then after 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, then you have to pay for that. Well, if you don't want to pay for it, you can get some free programs, and they're similar to the Microsoft Suite, but they just have a different name to them, and you could use that instead of having to pay for the Microsoft one. And I'm going to go to one of the websites now. One of them is called Open Office. So you go to Open Office, and you can go to download, Open Office download, and you could get Apache Open Office official site. So you type in Open Office, and then you could download that and use that. And it has like spreadsheet and all the other stuff that you may need if you don't want to, or you can't afford to get the regular Microsoft Office. Also, when you're looking for a new computer, let's say you want to buy a laptop. Now, there's a few things you want to know before you purchase a laptop. You want to make sure there's certain things that you get with that laptop that are into it. You want something that has a good battery, and the battery holds a charge for a long time. So one question I would ask is, how long will the battery hold a charge? Because they're different, they vary differently. Some of them will hold a charge for 2 hours, some will for 4. Excuse me. They even have laptops that hold charges for 9 or 12 hours. So that's an important thing to look into. Another thing that I get concerned about is if you buy a laptop from a store, sometimes they have a reshelving fee, and they'll charge you $15 or $35 if you decide you don't want it, the laptop, and you return it. So I like to frequent places that don't have that restocking fee, because if you have a problem and you want to return it, they're going to charge you money to return it. So that's another tip that I like to tell people. When you're looking for a laptop, try to get a laptop that has an SSD hard drive. That's a faster hard drive. That hard drive runs at 1500 RPMs and has no moving parts. That's the latest, the newest type hard drive that's out on the market. It's called SSD, and that's the hard drive. You try to get a hard drive that has one. The other hard drive is the older version, which is called SATA, and they run at 5400 RPMs and 7200 RPMs. So if you have to get a SATA, make sure you get one that's at 7200 RPMs. And the processor, that's the brains of your computer. You want a decent processor. You can get a quad core, which is the best processor, whether it would be laptop or a desktop. You want to get yourself a quad core if you can afford it. If you can't, then you'll have to get a dual core. A quad core will do more addressing. It will do more things than a dual core will. So, not that a dual core is not good, it's just that quad core will do more things. And also, you want to make sure you have enough memory in your computer, at least 4 gigs. Today, with a lot of the programs that are out there, and you need at least 4 gigs or more. If you can get 6 gigs or more, then you're better off. So memory is an important thing. You want to make sure you have enough memory in your computer. Just remember, 4 gigs is the minimum. So if you can get 6 or more and you can afford it, go ahead and get that. Also, what's important with a laptop or a desktop is your video card, which is also known as graphics card. You want to get a graphics card that at least has 2 gigs of memory or more. So you could do higher things with video. Let's say you want to do editing and things like that on your YouTube videos. You have to be able to have 3D graphics. So you want to have a decent video card. Those are the things I look for. I prefer HP, Dell, Asus, Alienware is good. Most of the things that you need to look at first is the specs, what I just talked about. What is in there? The Celeron processor is the lowest grade Intel processor that's out there. I would say if it has a Celeron processor, I would not buy it because it's not going to be very fast. It's going to be very slow. That's a stripped down, Intel stripped down processor. And it's called Celeron. You want to look into a quad core processor. That's really what you want. And if you can't afford a computer with a quad core processor, make sure you get a dual core. Those are important factors. Also, make sure that if it's a laptop that the screen is big enough. You want at least a 15.4 screen. You can get a 15.6 screen also, and they even have 17-inch laptops. So it really depends on what you're going to use it for. But the basic things that I gave you on specs is really basic what you have to have. Because if you have one and not the other, it's not going to perform well. If you have a fast processor and not a lot of memory, it's kind of like driving your car with the brake, emergency brake on. You need memory to have space on your desktop to be doing things. The more memory you have, the more space you have to do things. You could do 2 or 3 things at the same time. But if you're low on memory, you won't be able to do very much. If you have a slow processor, the computer's going to be running slow, and you don't want that. Another thing is bloatware. If you're buying a new computer or you bought a new computer recently, or your computer is 6 months to a year old, there's a lot of things on there that you don't necessarily need, and you should take them off. A lot like let's say it's an HP computer. Bloatware is a lot of the added programs that they put on that you don't need. Hi there, Jay Kurt. Welcome to the live stream. How you doing tonight? So you want to go in to the control panel. Actually, not the control panel. You want to click on Start, right click and go to Explorer, and then go to My PC, and no, actually you're looking for bloatware. Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking about something else. What you want to do is you want to go into the control panel, go to computer, programs or uninstall programs, open that up, and where your programs are, look for things like introductory things. Look for programs that are on there and they're geared for that company. But if it's a driver for like sound or video, make sure you leave it. If you're not sure what you're taking off, leave it. But there'll be some things in there that'll say like HP introductory or something like that, and you could remove those things safely. So just be on the safe side, and don't just get rid of things on randomly. Make sure you know what you're taking off. Like I always say, delete programs that you don't need. If you don't need programs, delete them. Limit how many programs are on startup. That's another thing I stress. And clean your computer hard drive. And by doing that, you're going into right click in your C drive, left click in properties, and running the disk scan, and then scanning your system files and cleaning up your system files. And then after that it's done, you let that go through its course. You go to the next button below it, and that's called optimize and defrag. You open that up, make sure it's on C drive, double click it, and let it do its thing, and wait till it's finished. So these things are good to do like when you're not using the computer. You can do it at night. You can even schedule it to do these things at a certain time. So, remember that. You could also turn off some virtual effects if you want the computer to run better and faster. Just remember, some of the effects, it's gonna speed up your performance, but Windows won't look as good, look as pretty. You're not going to have as many features running, but those features use memory. So you got to remember, everything on the computer is using memory. So whatever you could free up will free up some memory. So those are things you have to look at. And I stress you do that. It sounds maybe overwhelming, and there's a lot of things, but what you do is just do a few things at a time. Don't think that you have to do all this stuff at once, because you don't. You just start with the basics. Start with, okay, today I'm going to clean my history out, my Chrome browser, and I'm going to do go to the run box and clean my cache out by typing in temp and those other things. Do a couple things each day or by the week, or however you want to do it. You may want to pause the video and do it like that, step by step. You can do that also. And make sure you be careful what you download and keep your privacy settings on. Those are very important things that you really want to do to stay safe online. And when you're making passwords for the programs that you have, or even for your email, whatever, and for your router, there's passwords that you have to use. I recommend making those passwords stronger. changing the passwords to upper and lowercase letters and use some symbols. Make sure you write it down, make it confusing for somebody to break into your computer and have to try to figure out what the password is, because they'll just leave that and go on to an easier one. If you have some really strong passwords, they won't be able to break in as easy. So use strong passwords and write them down, make sure you know what it is. And not only update your Windows, which is very important, update your programs too, and update your drivers. If there's an update for your driver, update that also. It's a good idea to keep your programs up to date. And be careful, be a selective sharer. That means be careful what you share and who you share things to. If you're doing any transactions involving money, make sure you're at a secured site, and on the top left corner, it's a locked lock. It doesn't, if it says anything about not secure, you don't want to do any kind of transactions like that, because you can get yourself in trouble. And personal tip that I like to give people, don't believe all the messages you get on your computer. A lot of it is junk, telling you to click here and your computer is going to be faster. Usually that's just an attempt to put a virus on to mess up your computer. Or click here to speed up your computer, or click here to do this. You need to click here to optimize something. Just use the programs that I talk about, and don't be clicking all over the place and then just leaving it up to the wind, and then finding out that you got all kinds of junk on your computer, and then you got to try to get rid of it. So don't believe all these messages you see. And then the strong passwords, they're very good to have. So, I hope you got some value out of this live stream. I did give you a lot of things that you can work with to get your computer running good and to do regular maintenance to it. And that covers a lot of that, a lot of those tips. So, I hope you try these tips and use them and get your computer running good. And just be able to feel comfortable with doing the maintenance yourself, and doing all these different things. I do offer a service where I do these things for you, and if you're a subscriber of mine, then there's a discount, and you can contact me and we can talk about that if you want me to do maintenance for you. But I like to show people that all the different things that they can do to better the computer and to keep it running good. So with that, I think I'm going to end here the live stream, and make sure you visit my website and click the bell and subscribe and share the video. And you can visit my website also at mslcomputerservice.com. You can also contact me directly on my website if you want your computer repaired. But take these tips and use them, and I assure you that it's going to better your computer. So I will talk to you guys later, and have a good night.